How serious is Bruce "Shoo Carrington? The 27-year-old featherweight is currently 15-0 and has been calling out the top names in the division for the past year. What I like about the guy is he really wants these fights and he's very confident that he could beat them. He doesn't seem like a guy who ducks. With that said, it's easy to call out champions like Naoya Inoue, Stephen Fulton, or Nick Ball, but to actually fight them and beat them, well, that's a different story. Now, Carrington is definitely a very exciting fighter, like most top-ranked boxers and like a lot of top-ranked prospects. He's very exciting inside the ring and outside the ring or on the mic. But, being a prospect, he does get fed journeyman boxers, guys who, shouldn't be in the ring or shouldn't be sharing the ring with high-level guys like Carrington. So it's really hard to get a feel for the first 7 to 8 fights. He does have the NABF, WBO Intercontinental, and the WBC Silver Featherweight titles, but we all know, okay, outside the 4 main belts, those belts don't mean that much. He had a really shaky win against Salomon Sagawa back in 2024 in September. Okay, he had a majority decision win. That was a very shaky win. Okay, that was his 13th career fight as well. I mean, a guy like that, you should be beating him pretty bad. But anything can go in professional boxing. But, to have the audacity to call out guys like Inoue, Fulton, Nick Ball, after fights like that, I mean, it's kind of crazy to do. Before we continue with this video, I also want to mention I picked up a new sponsor, that's Hayabusa Boxing. Absolutely amazing gloves. Make sure to check out Hayabusa. I have my own storefront. Make sure to check out the link in the description. Use the code ALEXD, okay, all caps, all one word, ALEXD, okay, all caps. You get 10% off on all equipment you buy from Hayabusa. Clothing, gloves, shoes, headgear, you name it. Check out my storefront in the description. Buy whatever you want. Use the code ALEXD. Get 10% off. I'd be really appreciate it. Grateful to pick up a new sponsor with Hayabusa. Make sure to check them out. I'm telling you, their gloves are top tier. But he's confident, and he definitely showed that this past Saturday, beating Enrique Vivas, knocked him out in the 3rd round. Beat him basically pretty bad the whole first 3 rounds in general. Now he is 27, okay, that's around the age, maybe past the age where it's time for him, a prospect like him, to really get the title shots now. Who can he beat? Well, I don't know. We really got to go into that. So he has power, okay? He definitely has this skill, very slick fighter, okay? Who could he beat? If Inoue's to bump up to featherweight, which I can't wait for him to do that, I think Inoue folds him. I think Inoue stops him. Now, that's not a bad thing, okay? Inoue folds and stops 99% of the guys who are around that weight class. Nick Ball, I mean, I made that video a couple weeks ago when he beat Doheny. He definitely has some holes in his game where I think a guy like Carrington could definitely beat. I don't think he could stop a guy like Nick Ball, but I definitely think that he could outbox him. Then, of course, we have Fulton, who's a new champion once again at featherweight. I think Carrington could definitely beat Fulton, whether it's outboxing or stopping him. Ray Vargas is WBC champion in recess. I mean, listen, if he's not going to get a title shot next, maybe give him a guy who's in the top 5 of rankings. Ray Vargas is definitely somebody you could pair him up against. The other champions as well I wanted to mention, IBF, is Angelo Leo. And I think that could definitely be a good fight for Carrington and WBO. Rafael Espinoza as well. Very good fight for Carrington. Now, I mentioned earlier that he could beat Nick Ball, he could beat Stephen Fulton. Yes, I think he has the abilities to beat them, but that's still a 50-50 fight. I mean, these guys are champion after all. Nick Ball and Stephen Fulton especially. I mean, he's experienced, right? He already went to battle with Inoue. All right, that's definitely a lot to add on to your resume. Nick Ball, I mean, he's definitely very experienced as well. I mean, it's going to be very tough fights for Carrington. I don't think it will be easy, but like I mentioned, he has the abilities to outbox Nick Ball, to stop potentially Stephen Fulton, to beat Leo and Espinoza as well. Ray Vargas, I think he could beat as well. But, pair him up against a top 5 fighter, not a champion yet, I think, I would favor Carrington. Basically, I should have titled this video like most of my other videos when I talk about new prospects, new fighters, is how far can they go? Well, how far can Carrington go? I mean, that's really a different conversation for another day. I mean, he has a pretty good statue. He's pretty skinny as well. So that means he could bump up 3 or 4 weight classes and be very dominant. Okay, being 5'8" at featherweight, pretty tall for that division. So I mean, how far could he go? He could probably go up to super welterweight, light middleweight, if we're being honest. But that's a whole different conversation. How serious is he right now? Who could he be right now at featherweight? Can he be champion? The answer is absolutely yes. If he could get 3 fights total this year, okay, just had one just now, March 29th, okay, but if he could fight 2 more times, with 2 of them, the next 2 fights being top 5 guys, I mean, I definitely think we could see early 2026 a title shot. I think that would definitely be something that we could see. It's going to be hard being with Top Rank. Of course, you don't get the best title fights. You don't get the most title shots, early, okay? But I definitely think we could see that by early 2026 if we see him fight 2 more times against top 5 guys, okay? I think we could see that. I definitely think we could see that. I think he could beat a lot of guys. Definitely has the potential. Definitely has the skill set to become champion soon, within a year. 100%. That's how serious I think Carrington is. Let me know down in the comments how serious you think Shushu Carrington is. Who could he beat? Who do you want to see him fight? I'm out, guys. Peace.